Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. On Saturday night, we have a top 25 matchup that really shouldn't be one. Number 13 Miami takes on number 24 Texas A&M, fresh off that stunning 17-14 loss to Appalachian State that should have knocked the Aggies out of the rankings. But Saturday night will be an opportunity for Texas A&M to show that they're still worthy of this top 25 spot. That last week against Appalachian State was, some would say, a bit of a fluke. It's an opportunity for Miami to show they're worthy of this top 15 spot, that they're legit under Mario Cristobal, and that they should be taken seriously on the national stage. The stakes are high in College Station this Saturday, and we're here to break down everything you need to know for this game, and of course, share our official prediction for who will walk away with that with a huge resume-boosting and statement victory. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. Thrilled to have you here as we break down Miami and Texas A&M, the first time they have met since 2008. Before we get started, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Of course, check out everything down in the description below, too, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country. We just released our Week 3 picks for college and Week 2 picks for the NFL. Those picks have beat out over 80% of the national analysts each of the last 4 years. You do not want to miss out on that, guys, because we can promise you we'll finish with a winning record. Promise you you'll walk away with money. Become a part of the GE Nation, guys. Check out everything down in the description below and just subscribe to the channel so you can talk ball with us year-round. So let's take a deep dive into Miami and Texas A&M. Let's take a deeper look at this. Let's go to the offense first and start with the Hurricanes. Start with Mario Cristobal's team. This offense, guys, is electric. They are dangerous. They're averaging 50 points per game through 2 games. And we knew that Miami was going to be electric. We knew this team was going to be dangerous. 519 yards per game they're averaging, 279.5 passing yards per game they're averaging, led by the star quarterback, one of the best in the country, and Tyler Van Dyke, who has thrown for 456 yards and 3 touchdowns in just 2 games this year. Now, granted, yes, the 2 games were against Bethune-Cookman and Southern Miss. So they haven't faced anybody elite necessarily. Texas A&M will be the first true test for Miami. Same can be said for A&M, though. First true test. Weren't supposed to lose to App State before they only played Sam Houston. But this Miami team, guys, is very, very talented offensively. And not only Tyler Van Dyke, we focus so much on the quarterback play. You got to give some credit to the running back, Henry Parrish. You look at Miami, almost 280 passing yards per game. They're also averaging nearly 240 rushing yards per game. Parrish has rushed for 217 yards and 4 touchdowns in just 2 games this year. They can beat you through the air. They can beat you on the ground. And they're going to test this Texas A&M defense, one that was supposed to be very strong and dangerous up front. But Miami can beat you in all aspects offensively, and they will be a strong test for the Aggies. When you take a look at Texas A&M, they've had some issues offensively, obviously. Last week against App State was very concerning. They only had 97 passing yards and only 89 rushing yards. They did not eclipse 100 yards rushing or 100 yards passing. 186 total yards against the Mountaineers. Also committed 2 turnovers, missed a potential game-tying field goal, only mustered 9 first downs. Haynes King, their quarterback, had a QBR of just 21.3. The week before against Sam Houston, QBR of like 45. He's struggling. And it'll be interesting to see when or if Jimbo Fisher chooses to put someone else in. Replace King with, Connor Weidman or Max Johnson, the transfer from LSU. This A&M offense, guys, is nowhere near as electric or fast or explosive as Miami's. Even the week before against Sam Houston. Yes, they won 31-0. They benefited from a very long rain delay. But Texas A&M, they started slow. 12 drives in that game against the Bearcats. 7 of them resulted in a punt, interception, or missed field goal. And all 7 of those drives that we just mentioned lasted 6 plays or less. So they weren't moving the ball. They weren't moving it effectively. Yes, they won. They beat up on an FCS squad, but they struggled offensively against Sam Houston State. They struggled offensively against App State. And while they've got all this talent, they've got Haynes King, they've got Devin Achane, they've got Nia Smith, they're not really being able to use it to their full potential. They're not reaching their full potential. And something has got to change. The question is, can it change against this Miami defense? Can this Miami defense continue to make Texas A&M look stagnant? Can they continue to shut down this A&M offense that, again, has struggled for the last 2 weeks? You look at Miami, guys. Again, we just mentioned how they've played 2 bad schools. We have Bethune-Cookman and Southern Miss. So the test hasn't been there yet. How much stock can you really put into the offensive and defensive numbers? So far, though, they are allowing just 291 yards per game. And the key number I like here, only 63 rushing yards per game. So if Miami's defensive front, their front 7 especially, can shut down the run, really bottle them up. I mean, last week A&M was held again to 89 rushing yards. If they can do that, if Miami can hold A&M to under 100 rushing yards on the day, they have a very good chance to walk into College Station and get a win here. Because in doing so, they're going to force whoever's under center, most likely Haynes King, but they're going to force whoever's under center to win the game through the air. And that's something that I don't feel confident that Texas A&M can do. And I'm sure most Aggie fans would agree. Do you have faith in Haynes King to solely win the game through the air for you? Do you have faith in him to lead a potential game-winning drive for you? Factor in that Miami has also already forced 6 turnovers so far this year. 6 turnovers in just 2 games. It's a dangerous thing to think about if you're the Aggies. Miami's front 7 has to shut down the run, force Texas A&M to be one-dimensional. They're going to bounce back. The Aggies are going to be more aggressive. They're going to look better, but can Miami, again, make them more stagnant across the board and force whoever's under center to win solely through the air and maybe get a little pressure on them while they're at it? Texas A&M, guys, we knew coming into the season the defense was supposed to be the strength of the team, right? We expected the Aggies to be strong, physical, aggressive defensively. And the front 7 especially was going to be that focal point. That was going to be the one that was one of the best, maybe some would say, in the entire country. But last week against App State, they allowed 181 rushing yards to the Mountaineers. They allowed App State to hold the ball for 41 minutes and 29 seconds. Nearly 3/4 of the game that App State possessed the football. That's the problem. The defense could not get off the field. In Miami, their approach in this game is going to be different than Appalachian State's. Miami's going to be looking to score. They're going to be looking for home run balls. Appalachian State was a slow, grinded-out game. They were dominant on the ground. They weren't going for the big home run balls. They weren't as electric and fast-paced as Miami's going to be. So A&M probably will get a few more opportunities offensively than maybe they did last week against the Mountaineers. But when you look at it, guys, Tyler Van Dyke is the best quarterback that Texas A&M has faced so far this year. There's no doubt about that. He's better than Chase Bryce. I think we can all agree with that. Bryce had a pretty good game. What Texas A&M has to do is they've got to get after Van Dyke. They've got to get after him. They've got to pressure him. Texas A&M so far has 4 sacks on the year. Miami allowed 4 sacks last week against Southern Miss. In the last 2 years, we've known Miami's offensive line to be a bit of concern. Look at A&M's front 7. Know what talent is up there. We know how strong they are and how talented they can be. If they can generate pressure on Tyler Van Dyke, I do believe that A&M can bottle up the run game a little bit. I don't believe that Miami's going to go out there and rush for nearly 200 yards in this game. Believe they can get after Van Dyke, especially with the home environment, the 12th man at night on their side, rattle the young quarterback in one of the most hostile environments he's ever faced, force him into a couple mistakes. If you do that, the A&M offense should, in theory, be able to capitalize. That's going to be their key for them defensively. So what is going to happen, guys? College Station, late at night, it's like an 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time kickoff, right? So it's late. The 12th man is on their side. The crowd is on their side. A&M anxious to bounce back in a big way, show that last week was bad, but it's not the end of the year. Everybody needs to calm down. Problem is, I think they're just going to freak out even more, guys. By the time Saturday night ends, I think A&M faithful are going to be calling for Jimbo Fisher's head. I don't think Texas A&M is in the right mindset, guys. The App State loss was bad, and there's no way around that. They got dominated up front, dominated in the trenches, dominated offensively, dominated defensively, across the board, dominated by a team in the Sun Belt Conference. A good one at that. Miami can do that. I believe Miami's a little bit better than App State. Should be. Miami can do that. I believe Texas A&M cleans things up. I have no doubt about that. They're going to look a little bit better, a little more confident, a little bit more aggressive. We've talked about that. We expect that to be the case. But Miami owns the better offense by a long shot. The defense can hold up. And again, I don't have faith in the Aggies offense, especially at quarterback right now, to put up the points and to exploit a Miami defense that's going to be swarming and going to be very, very aggressive and has shown that already through 2 games this year. The Aggies guys already have 5 home losses under Jimbo Fisher, App State being one of them this year, Mississippi State being one last year. They're not invincible with the 12th man. It does play a role, but they're not invincible. And with Miami, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Alabama, all those teams on deck, I believe the App State game screwed with A&M's mind just a little bit. A loss to Miami ends their season, and you can see this team really start to spiral out of control. They need this win. I don't think that Jimbo Fisher is going to be able to deliver. Miami's offense exploits Texas A&M's defense just like App State did. The game is close in the fourth quarter, but Tyler Van Dyke makes the plays when he has to. Haynes King is unable to, and Miami walks away with a signature victory on the road against an SEC opponent under Mario Cristobal, his first signature win with the Hurricanes that could propel them into the top 10 and make them a legitimate threat on the national stage. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Make sure to go sign up for those today. Go join our free Discord server to talk college football with me and hundreds of other college football fans year-round. Make sure to go check that out. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.